Lions TV, Merry Christmas everyone. I have just witnessed on the red button, Cardiff 1, Millwall 1. First and foremost, yes, again, I wasn't there today, apologies for that, but family time has to come first, unfortunately, on Boxing Day. And I'll be honest, an 8-hour round trip to Cardiff on Boxing Day when the game is on the telly, I've got to take me out off to every man, woman and child that travelled today, so that's fantastic support. And even if I didn't have my kids today, I'm not sure I would have really fancied that long old slog of a journey. It finished Cardiff 1, Millwall 1. On reflection, probably a fair result. We shaded the first half definitely on possession. We kept the ball well at times. And I think we only had one shot on target. Jeb Wallace hits a left-footed shot into the goalkeeper's hands. Just before half-time, Cardiff have one chance of their own. A good save from Bolkowski down to his left. And we go into half-time 1-1. And I felt the game was there for the taking. They come out the second half and Cardiff starts to put a little bit of pressure. Lee Tomlin, it's a fantastic left-footed shot. And again, I've said it time and again this season, Bolkowski makes one of the best saves I've ever seen, along with one of the saves he made at Fulham and along with one of the saves he made at Reading. This one was probably top the pair of them. A brilliant, unbelievable save from Bolkowski. And again, we definitely need to sign a big man up in January to a permanent contract, if possible. It wasn't long after that they got a breakthrough, Cardiff. A little bit of a poor goal to concede defensively. Corner gets swung in, flick on at the front post. It's one straight off the training ground, and at the back post, Aidan Flint is there unmarked just to tap it home, and it's 1-0. And from that point, you thought it might not have been our day. But we sort of worked our way back into the game, as we always do under Rowett. We never seem to concede and then concede again. We sort of seem to consolidate and then go again. And wow, I'm sure you've all seen it. Jeb Wallace, absolutely phenomenal. The best free kick I've probably ever seen. It was an absolute joke. It was about 7 yards further out and wider than the one he put at Swansea in the top corner as well. And I said to Mini-Me, the goalkeeper's putting a whop here. I don't know why he's doing it. He's not going to shoot from here. And it's exactly what he does. The angle we're seeing it from on the telly. I thought he'd gone over. I thought he'd hit the side net, and the goalkeeper makes a brilliant attempt, and it's just gone in the absolute Playboy mansion. A phenomenal free kick from Jed, who again worked tirelessly. And yes, he gave the ball at times and made a few basic mistakes, but he's just full of energy, full of brilliance, full of ideas, full of inventiveness, and he just wants to unlock the door with every given opportunity he gets with the ball. And that's maybe why at times he does actually give it away. But listen, an outrageous free kick, and I'm sure that's put another couple of zeros on the end of his price tag in January if he does go. Obviously, we don't want him to go. A phenomenal goal scoring record for a midfielder, and also he's got the assists to go with it. After that, I thought we grew into the game. I thought we was the better side again. Gary Rowett never rests on his laurels, did he? 3 substitutions were made. Murray Wallace came on for Shane Ferguson. John Daddy Bavardson went off for Conor Mahoney, and then at the death, Tom Bradshaw was replaced by the big dog Matt Smith. Let's go through the team quickly and give you some player ratings as I saw it. Bolkowski, again, brilliant. Got to sign the big man up, and it will be a close run thing between him and Jeb Wallace for player of the year so far, in my opinion. 3 centre-halves, it was good to have Alex Pearce back in the side. I thought Pearce and Cooper were both very solid. And as much as I love Sean Hutchinson, I don't say it often about him. I thought he had one of his weaker games today, give the ball away a lot, got caught in possession a fair bit. Sean Hutchinson, but again, a great player for us, and he's entitled to an off day. Left wing back Fergie, sorry, again, not for me. I don't want to be seen to digging the same players out, but Fergie had an opportunity 3 times in the first half to get the ball at his feet and get crosses into the box, and he hesitated, he divered on it, and as a result, he didn't get his crosses in. Listen, defensively, not bad, but I think Kenny texted on the WhatsApp group earlier, the Lions TV WhatsApp group, and said, I think Shane Ferguson today has shown us exactly why we're missing Murray Wallace, and I think I'd agree with Kenny on that one. Marlon Romeo on the right-hand side, again, pretty solid. He does overrun the ball at times and gets a little bit ahead of himself. He sort of pace overtakes his ball control, if you know what I'm saying. And he gives the ball away at points. Not an outrageously good display from Marlon, but not a poor one by any stretch. The central midfield 2 again were brilliant, and I thought were pivotal to us getting a very good point away from home. Jason Malumbi, great young player and gets better every week. But I've got to be honest, for as much grief as I get for giving the same players negative feedback, I'll get the same amount of grief for giving Sean Williams good feedback. And I thought Sean Williams was brilliant again today. I thought he retained the ball well when he had it. I thought he made the right decisions on the ball. I thought he broke the play up well. And again, he was up there for man of the match for me, Sean Williams. And many might not agree on that, but I think he's been, some will say, rejuvenated under Rowett. I don't think he ever wasn't at that level. I just think his style of play is much more suited to Rowett's Rowett's formations and Rowett's tactics. And for me, Sean Williams was one of our best players again today. Then the three up front, Jed, again, what can you say about the man? I said what I need to say earlier on him. On the left, I'm sorry, John Daly Bavarsson is nowhere near this standard of football. I'm surprised Scalak got dropped for it, if I'm honest. I would have played Scalak. Scalak is a winger, and wingers can sometimes be tarred with a brush of being a little bit lazy, a little bit in and out of games. And I think Scalak works very hard for the team. I think he's a Millwall player. And I would have rather played Scalak over Bavarsson. Bavarsson couldn't get into the game. He didn't win any headers. He continually gave the ball away. And he eventually was replaced in the 70th minute. And I don't want to see him starting more games. If it was me, he wouldn't be starting any games. Never in a million years. I'd play Scalak over him, or I'd play Mahoney over him. Up front, the other striker, obviously, Tom Bradshaw. Listen, didn't hardly touch the ball. Didn't have a sniff. But that isn't Bradshaw's fault. He works tirelessly for the team. And as we know from previous strikers, Lee Gregory, they have to work very hard to try and force chances for themselves. And that's maybe one small criticism I could have so far of Rowett. We don't seem to create many chances for Bradshaw. We need to try and work out how that can happen going forward. But again, listen, for the players that didn't play well, these aren't Rowett's players, are they? They're Neil Harris's players. Neil Harris signed these players. So, again, Gary Rowett, you can't knock what he's done. We retained the ball very well. I thought it was a better footballing side of the two teams today, and it's a good point on the road. It's a good performance on the road, and we will definitely take it and come back to the Den against Brentford on the 29th. Is it the 29th? I think it's the 29th. Today's Boxing Day, so your days get all scrambled up over Christmas. So I suppose I should do a pre-match prediction for Brentford at some point tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And again, a point on the road. Fair play to everyone that travelled. Fair play to the players and the management. It's another point on the board. And as I said before, and I'll say it again, I am 100% confident that we will be safe in this division this season, and we can all breathe a big sigh of relief come sort of March time, and that would be lovely. That would be lovely if that could happen. But yeah, there you go, boys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed your Christmas. I hope you've enjoyed your Boxing Day. And please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.